hand over to Hoss for his presentation, and welcome to you, Hoss.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that amazing introduction. I didn't know I was that good.
There you are now.
With that, obviously, further ado, I'll start the presentation. I'm easy, I'm down to earth, so I have no sort of big head or anything. It still fits in my screen, so I'm really happy for you to ask any question you like, from pricing, from my weight, my size, my anything you like, you can ask. So don't worry about it, okay? And no question is silly or stupid. I'm happy to answer anything you want me to let you know. I'm going to share my screen and start the talk. Okay, first of all, my name is Hossein, and my wife always called me Hoss. And one day I saw it written, and we thought it would be fantastic to call it Hoss Photography. And Hugo Boss stole my logo. So you see all the misspelling everywhere on that. As you were explained, I was born in Iran. My dad was from Azerbaijan and my mom's Russian from Leningrad. And they escaped from Russia when it was turning communist, and then we ran away from just before the revolution in Iran. I haven't been back since. I've been asked to do seminars and things over there, so I've renewed my passport and my birth certificate to Islamic version, but I haven't been back. I'd like it to be much more settled for me to go. Everything I always did was just photography. I looked at photography. That's when I started photography, by the way. Before that, I was a mechanic. We had our own garage. I won't go that far back. But so when I started photography, everything I did was photography. I look at images all the time. I'm on Instagram or any new guys that are coming up in photography. I'm constantly looking, and sometimes people get fed up. That's my wife with me down there. Her name is Tracy. She's also qualified with the FIAP, British Institute of Professional Photography. I also was a fellow of the British Institute and Federation of European Photographers, but we haven't continued with those. So, but to me, when you get your certification or your license, you're licensed for life. But they don't want that. They want me to take it off. I'm going to go back to this one just to explain. The picture on the left you're seeing is my cousin's wife. She's not a model. She looks like a model. She had bought this hat, and they came to visit us. And my cousin said, "Will you please take a shot of her with this hat? She's killing me, this, that, and the other." And this picture appeared on the cover of the British Institute of Professional Photography magazine. By the way, anything I say you don't understand or you can't hear me very well, please make a note of it and let me know so I can talk to you. My dad was a movie star in Iran. Mohsen Mahdavi is before some of the other people probably won't remember him. By the time I was born and things, he was sort of being the second act in the movies, but he even came to England as Persia's brother Valentino, and that's my mom also next to him in the picture on top. Also crowned the beauty queen of London. It was sort of pushed around a little bit those days. This is a picture from almost my house to the studio. So that's my studio. That's where I'm sitting right now. And it's very difficult to escape from work. Traffic doesn't stop me. And this is what it looks like when it's wintry and snowy. I can always get to the studio, but my customers don't always make it when it's this snowy. So when you walk in, this is the reception room. That's where my wife sits, and she does all the marketing. She brings the clients in, and from the moment they come in, they're mine. So I photograph and sell the images. The small room you're seeing there is our workroom. We used to do a lot of framing and things, and these days I sell mostly digital images. This is behind me where you're seeing it is my studio. It's 5 meters by 5 meters, the actual studio area, and I can even bring motorbikes in. I wanted to make a big window so I could bring a car in, but my wife didn't want it to look like that. So you know what it is with wives. This is our viewing room or our consultation room. That's where we sit and chat or sit and show the images for them to purchase. One of my talents, I've completely redone those two settees that you're seeing there. They were burgundy and with pattern on it, and I stripped it and completely recovered it. Because I was a mechanic before, unfortunately, I can do everything, and that's the problem. Okay, next. These are when I was, oops, went back. When I was getting famous and things, my name and things were everywhere. So these are my 15 minutes fame. It happened. And then I got asked to do all the seminars and things around as well. Fortunately, my job has taken me to some of the amazing people here. Tony Blair, the Prime Minister, the Mayor of Brent was the first black lady mayor, and asked me to go and photograph her with Tony Blair, who was Prime Minister at the time. And it was amazing. It was I was actually having a shower while I was walking there. I was so nervous, but we did great images. This picture is because I rescued Master Photographers Association from going bankrupt. And when I retired, they did a thank you for me. This is another Prime Minister of England, if you don't know, David Cameron. He was visiting a business center, and I was asked to photograph because I do a little bit of press photography for a local magazine as well. That's the Mayor of Brent who took me to Tony Blair. She gave me a complete diary of her year, and I just appeared everywhere she was to photograph her and what she was doing. For those of you who don't know who this is, I can't see it very well, it's hidden behind my pictures, is David Bailey. If you don't know him, he was the pioneer of real sort of casual photography in the UK, and like Richard Avedon in America, that type of thing. And he was my hero, basically. I always wanted to meet him, and I didn't think it would ever happen. And when it did, I was told that he's not very nice. He would be, you know, dishing you off. He wouldn't want to talk to you much. What happened was we stood there talking to the point that I felt I'm holding him back from his friends. So I had to send him off. So he was just chatting to me and very, very nice. Footballer and football manager of Watford, Graham Taylor. He passed away, unfortunately, but he was a great man and brought Watford Football Camera Club to great heights. For those of you who follow football, I don't. That's a picture of me in Dubai when I was asked to do judging for the Hamdan International Photography Awards, and also announce the category winners at the end, which was an extreme proud moment for me. Another Prime Minister, Gordon Brown. The current Prime Minister, They give so many names to poor guy that Boris Johnson, another politician. This is my favorite ever model. We have a magazine, newspaper in England. They used to have a page 3 model, and page 3 model was always topless or whatever. And one of my hero photographers was Bob Carlos Clark, who photographed her a lot. And she was always my favorite model. I never met her again. I was asked to photograph this model who's trying to raise money for charity, and I've had so many of those that really didn't go anywhere. And it was right at the time where I had a client just afterwards in my studio, and it got to a point where she was running late for me to go to her, and my client was, so I phoned up. I said, look, I've only got really an hour to go and do this, and it's too far for me to go and come back. Who is this model anyway? And they said it was Jilly Johnson. I phoned my customer and I said, I have to delay you, I'll be back. So I ran to see her. It was amazing for me. Mary Berry, she's on TV a lot as a baker. I don't know if you know. Chuckle Brothers are comedians for children programs. The guy on the left has passed away, unfortunately, since, but they're nice guys. Me and Tony Blair, the Prime Minister. Rod Stewart. I'm sure you guys know Rod Stewart. Again, photographed together. That's Talisa from X Factor and N-Dubs, another group and presenter. This is John Swanell, who's created a lot of iconic images. He used to be David Bailey's assistant. I'm sure you know Reza as the National Geographic photographer. And John Barnes, who's a footballer, very famous around here. Okay, I hope nobody is under 18, because there are some of my clients don't have money to buy clothes. So this is what happens. Guys, I'm classically trained. I love doing classical portraits. So this is the style of thing I really love doing. And my first studio that I had, most of my clients were Asians, Africans, and Middle Easterns, and always came dressed up, looking good with all their attire and things. And I always also dressed up in a suit and a tie. So I always photographed them in this manner. It was really nice, very easy. I found it afterwards. But nowadays, this is what we mostly do, which is casual images of families on a white background. Some people have different colors, but I think white works in every house. So I just, I've tried cream, I've tried gray. I'm not denying that, yes, there are some nice images, but as a general rule, this works for me best. Plus the fact I still do, I print my own work. And when you have a white background and you ask your clients to wear white, there's hardly any ink used. Okay. When I see tattoos, when I see bodies that can look good in images and people who look good, I always try and do 1 or 2 shots that will either put me towards putting something for competitions and that sort of thing. So if they agree, I'll ask them to take their clothes off. And this started as a joke one day. I used to know this photographer who used to take a lot of nude images. And I kept saying, how do you do this? How do you get them to take their clothes off? He said, I just asked them. I say, now you take your clothes off. So one day I was photographing this lady and I said to her, okay, now you can take your clothes off. And she did. I didn't even know what to do then. So it was an embarrassing moment, but I had to carry on. Every day is different for me. This is our local tattoo artist, and he's a cage fighter as well as a motorbike rider. So he came in, he wanted some pictures. Again, I did him very aggressively. He's really a nice guy. So some days I'm very busy, some days I'm totally quiet. There are times in the summer where everybody goes on holiday and we become absolutely dead. I'm either photographing or editing. These days, most of my editing goes to a retoucher who I've known for 2 years now, and she cleans the images, sends it back to me, and I do the extra work that I want to do to the clients. Seminars, lectures, and lectures and judging is something that I really enjoy, and luckily I get asked to do it as well. My ideas are always from different sources. I don't just go and copy somebody's images. There is one thing that I totally believe in, and that is whatever I do, even if I create it, it was created before. Believe it or not, I created cheese on toast. Then I found out that it existed, putting cheese on toast and putting it on the grill. So things happen all the time, and things will go round and round all the time. When I do a job, I put myself right into it. I don't just think, oh my God, this is another day, another whatever, because there's always opportunities from anybody. People that walk in here, yes, there are days where you just go, okay, there was nothing that was very special for me, but I'm sure it was special for them. That's why they bought my images. So I put 100% of myself into the work. This is what I normally do most Saturdays. We book 4 sessions on a Saturday and 2 hours each. And I do an hour of photo shoot and an hour of viewing and sales. So these I can do with my eyes shut. If I woke up, and I've created these poses and things because for me, if I woke up one day and I was ill and I wasn't feeling very good, I can do these with my eyes shut. I can just put people in places, say the same jokes and the same things, and it just carries on, and people like what I do. Although I do try and make things different for me when it's a slightly more challenging client. I don't know how you guys market in the UK and part of Ireland. We have to do loss leading. So our clients come either from Facebook advertising. We do school raffles and auctions. When schools want to raise some money to buy equipment or to make something happen in the school, they always ask for us to donate raffles to them, and they sell it on and they keep the money, and then the customer comes to us and we use that to hopefully upsell. We do charity evenings, dinner dances where people, it's an event where people spend a lot of money, and at the same time what we do is we photograph as well as we sell our vouchers and put some in for raffles or auctions. We sell vouchers on our online. Basically, nobody comes here paying me to photograph them. Everything is totally free, really. And we do competition where people win and they're really excited that they've won it, but they could have just walked in anyway. We also use Groupon. I don't know how many of you have Groupon in your countries, but Groupon is again, discounted version of selling something. They do all the marketing and advertising for you. All you get to do is, again, shoot for free and give a print for free. And obviously recommendations and previous clients that come back. So these are always good for us. Equipment wise, we do photograph dogs as well. Equipment wise, I'm not a techie guy. So to me, if it doesn't make me more money, I don't need it. So I've got the 3 lenses that I use. I don't really need anything else because that all works in here. Yes, I would love a 2000 millimeter f2.8 lens, but there is no way I can buy it or use it in a way. I do weddings as well. Not many. I do maybe about 6 or 7 weddings a year. It's too much work afterwards. The day is fantastic. I really love it. but to actually edit all the images and prepare them, we take about 1,200 images and then whittle it down, and then they come and choose. So it takes a bit of time. So that's the part I don't look forward to. The image you're seeing on the left of the bride, that was taken in a pouring rain, and I was actually on my Bronica ETRSI on film. And after I took these shots, the groom's mother booked me for the the other son's wedding. And then when we went to reception, I had to go and dry my camera under the hand dryer to see if it was working or not again. I don't know if you guys do weddings at all. These are different various locations. Let me know if I'm going too fast, guys. Yeah, Paul, is that okay?
You're going fine, Hoss. Yes, no problem.
Okay. The image on top is the daughter of a friend photographer of mine who said, "Oh, we're going to Germany to get my daughter is getting married to somebody in Germany," and he just dropped in the talk that he didn't have a photographer there. I said, "I'll come." So I went there. We photographed everything. He apologized. He said the reception is not a very good area. So, you know, don't be disappointed. Just do what you can. When I arrived, I was so excited to see this. This looks like superhero country. You know, it's just fantastic there. I did so many different images of this scene. This is in Switzerland. I did a wedding there from an American family who have a chateau in Switzerland, and this chateau has its own church, its own grounds, its own. It's absolutely beautiful. It was a 4-day wedding, and it's the most spending wedding clients I've ever had. £15,000 on a 4-day shoot.
Ooh.
This is in Dorchester Hotel, which is one of the top hotels in London. Again, a friend told me there's not much there you can photograph. There's a lovely piano, but you couldn't do a nice picture of it. And I think this is absolutely gorgeous. This is Crystal Palace in London. Okay, during lockdown, various competitions were going on. So these are my neighbors. To me, this was my lockdown image, where they're all sitting really bored, and the color of the whole thing turned it into more of a drab look. And what's funny is when I put it in for the judge said, "Oh no, the colors are not nice, they're not good." So it completely missed the fact that this was supposed to be a really drab look image. But it was just my neighbors sitting at home. They had a new extension done to their kitchen, to their house, and I thought I would take a shot of them. This is also very recent. This is my son's girlfriend. And again, I photographed her for a competition. And this one won an award for me. So my clients, when they come in, and as I explained, when I see somebody who's got an amazing body or tattoos, I always see if I can push them to take their clothes off. I don't mind they're men, women, whatever they are. I don't care. If they do it, I love it. Most of my work, this type of work, is only on one light on the subject, and that's it. I believe that there is only one sun, which I'm sure you know, there's only one sun, and that's the light that gets created. Yes, I do use sometimes hair light, that sort of thing, to add to images, but when it comes to this type of thing, I always love to do it with just one light. Did you mention that questions are all at the end? Yeah.
Yes, at the end. Yes. Yeah.
Pregnancy images, again, some people come in, they know from beginning they want to take their clothes off. Some people will say, no, we won't do it or whatever. But it always works when I show them samples of what I do, that it's not really tacky, it's not showing anything that it shouldn't. This is a local singer who was appearing in one of the charity events in the evening, and they asked me to photograph him. Again, this is not the image, but there was another image that was used for that charity, but this one won me an award for London Portrait Group for how the quality of the image and the lighting and the intensity in his eyes. My mother brought two sons in. I think they were Italian. They wanted to look a bit more like mafia, and they brought these hats with them, which I know it doesn't fit them very well, but I thought it was good. This won me an award anyway, so I photographed them like the mafia. Is that right, Ricardo?
Not at all.
I feel like that. When we ask a family to come, we always let them know that if their children are into anything, music, football, rugby, whatever, to bring something with them that they want to dress into, or bring their hobby or their trumpet or whatever they play. So these two brothers play rugby at school, and also for the local Hemel Hempstead area. So I photographed them like this, and the parents always love these because it shows them mean, it shows them grown up, it shows them full of character. One light, as you can see, there is a light in the background, but the main subject only got one light. You can see the catch lights in their eyes. This girl's mother used to work for me, and as this girl was growing up, I photographed her, and this time she came in with these amazing jackets. And I said to her, look, I've got to do this, just wear the jacket and nothing else, sat her behind her. And I think to me, this is a Vogue image. I really love it because to me, it really represented what I want to do, what I really love to do, photograph for magazines and things like that. One light again. This is recent. Again, I photographed this family many times. And this time the girl asked me, would I do some pictures for her? Because she's sort of grown up and she wanted some different style of images. We did a 2-hour shoot, and she's coming back for another 2 hours because she says, I've got more outfit I want to be photographed in. This one, actually, I shot it overexposed. And then when I looked at it, I realized I actually like it. So I turned it black and white. Okay, when I said earlier that when I started, to me, photography was everything. About 4 years ago, I was getting a little bit bored with the fact that all I'm doing is photography and there's no other challenges for me. So I thought I'd go and get 8GB license and drive lorries maybe, or just to get the license as a challenge to see if I can do this. But then I realized it was very expensive here. It was about £6,000 or something to get it. So I thought, no, that's too much. So I thought, okay, I'll go and get my motorbike license. So since then, I'm looking to photograph bikers. This is down outside with one light on the subject and one on the background, as you can see, falling in. I've not done any photoshopping on it, just sort of a slight vignette. This is me doing that shot. This was taken on an iPhone, so, and that's the light I use. It's battery powered, Profoto B1. It's fantastic. This is another shot of the same guy with his house in the background, beautiful house. And that was me taking it. Only again, one light. There's a light, as you can see, just on the left image, right at the back, which is shining down onto the ground, but it's pointing up because I wanted some of it coming down. And also the other one is lighting at 45 degrees. If you wanted me to talk about lighting and that sort of thing, obviously that would be another session. It would be too much to talk about it now, but this is what we call a 45-degree lighting. Another couple. These poses that come to me are in two ways. Either I've seen a statue or something that I've enjoyed part of it and I've incorporated it within my image. I don't call myself an artist, I call myself a mechanic, because I've seen so many images and so many images are in my head that when a situation happens, these images fall together and I create something from whatever I have put together or learned in that situation. If I've copied anything, I never put it on a competition if it's only for sale. Only these things that happen for me that I put in the competition or I create. Now this is a guy who's a bouncer. He stands outside clubs to make sure everybody behaves. And he wanted a picture with his daughter, so he came in. Again, I asked him to take his top off because I saw his tattoo and things. And then daughter is standing on a box and he's sitting and she's standing on a box. And we did various shots of them together as well, like this. Again, another family came in and I did whatever they wanted. Then I asked, would they do this? They said, fine. By the way, I don't get them to take their clothes off in front of me. What I do is I tell them how to pose so they know exactly where they're going to be. I turn my back or go outside of the room. They get ready for that moment and then I come in and photograph them. This is the same couple as earlier. I've lit this a little bit more from above because I wanted to give him a bit more of a six-pack. One of the tricks to get a six-pack out of somebody is you ask them to breathe out and then last minute you ask them to cough, and that makes their tummies really tight and you can get a good texture in it. Partnership, a same-sex wedding. The girl on the right is Michaela Breeze. She's the Commonwealth weightlifting champion, and she's won a gold and silver on the following Olympics as well. She got married, and this is in south of England, Dorset, and sorry, Devon. I was photographing. At this time, they were eating their dinner. I saw the light outside, which I'm always checking to see what is happening outside. I had to grab them out. They came, and I did a few shots of them here. This one won me an award. Now, Iranians love sort of getting married in London and also going to touristy areas. Some of the touristy areas like these, you can't photograph commercially. Basically, I shouldn't be standing there taking this picture and making money out of it from the bride and groom. So I always go in, take the shot, and somebody will come and say, what are you doing? You shouldn't be taking shots here. I'll apologize and I'll leave. By then I have one shot in my hands. This is the image you saw earlier on my poster. She's a Greek girl. She has done some acting in Greece, and she's also done some short movies here in England. When I met her, she was modeling for the launch of the new Leica, digital Leica that was coming out. And she was sitting there and they hand you the Leica, you take some images. So when I walked in, I noticed she was very bored. So I got her to pose. This is not the shot, by the way. I got her to pose and do things for me. And she said, I've sat here all day. Nobody's asked me to move or do anything. They've just taken a shot and gone away. And you're the first one. Would I be able to do a shoot with you? So she came, and I think she's been 4 or 5 times with me to do a shoot. This was during a seminar. The lighting of this one is inspired by a book that John Swanell has done, where he only lit parts of his image that he was interested in. The rest he leaves in silhouette. So massive, strong light in the background, and then one light on the subject, but really narrowed light to only light their faces. The pose isn't what is done He's photographing models in there. And this was just for me to do a demonstration in front of other photographers. This lady, she came to me for a photo shoot with her child. And then I noticed she had this style about her, the 60s look. And I said, do you want to come back and do some modeling? She did that. And then she said, it's my 40th. And I've hired this dress, which I love. Can you photograph me in it? And when she brought the dress out, I thought, you know, if I photograph you in the dress, it's just going to look just you standing there. So let's do something different. So just hold this in front of you. And then I take the shot. I made sure the shadow is on her. Again, this is one light, as you can see, with a beauty dish. I've never paid a model to come and pose for me. So every move they do, I have directed it myself. Now, this girl was a waitress at a wedding. She was serving drinks and things. And I asked her to come. Then I found out, after photographing her and things, I found out that she was a ballet dancer, and also afterwards she became one of the leaders in Bolshoi Ballet. 5 friends, they wanted some pictures, and at the end they were giggling. They said, can we do something more naked? I said, yeah, okay. So I told them how to sit. I went out, they got posed, they sat down, and I came in and just took the shot standing on a stool. Still one light, guys. Italian family, I photographed their wedding here in London, and then they asked me, they were talking to me about, I photographed her since she was really young in various shows and things that she was doing. She was singing and all that. And then she said, yeah, we're getting married also in Sicily. I said, wow, you have a photographer there as well? She said, no, we haven't got anybody. I said, well, I tell you what, if you pay for my wife and I to come there and stay, you pay for the costs, I'll do the wedding for free. So they took me to Sicily, and we did some amazing images there as well. And a week there, really enjoyed it. So when I say I photograph in London, I also put my clients in danger. We're walking in the middle of London Bridge next to Big Ben, and it was just crazy with taxis and cars passing us very fast at the time. That shot is in front of Buckingham Palace, where the Queen lives. And when we did this shot, again, 4 or 5 images, I kept shouting at her, saying to her, bend your knee, and she didn't. But nevertheless, this ended up in her album. Right at that moment, somebody came, undercover police, and pushed us away. They said, you're going to get killed if you stand here. You're going to be shot under security. So he pushed us off. But at least I had the images. London taxi, this was a car that they had for the wedding, and the taxi took us everywhere. And also we photographed them as well. This is a Albert Memorial in front of Royal Albert Hall. And that's Royal Albert Hall itself. This was one of the interesting things for me. I was asked to go back to Dubai to train a company photographers for wedding and posing and things. And while I was doing it, this girl who's one of the friends of the owners, they kept talking to me, and I just thought, okay, I should be really photographing her. And she kept saying, no, 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 no. I said, look, come up. I promise it won't be anything bad or whatever. Obviously, they're covered. They don't want to show their bodies or anything like that. So I just asked her to undo her scarf. I put one light on the left, put the fan on to blow the wind. I got somebody to hold the scarf and then let it go. And I took this shot. Absolutely love it. Another pregnant couple. This actually is totally from a statue I'd seen. Obviously not pregnant, but it was a statue I'd seen that I wanted to copy the pose. This was totally from me, the pose. So I wanted them really on their sides and for me to shoot from above, but it's not possible in my studio. So I thought, actually, why don't I bring them round? Again, one light coming from above, and I've managed to get some sort of a slight reflection back into their faces with the reflector. In Dubai, the company that asked me to train their photographers, this was a wedding show they were doing. And he asked me to go there and be on stage and photograph these dresses with the models that were hired for the week. There were 2 models. And this was basically shot in front of an audience as they were passing or standing, listening or talking to me. There were some wedding photographers, some just people who were interested in weddings. This was another seminar I did in Dubai for Iranian company that come to Dubai. She's also Iranian and she's doing very well in Dubai. She's become a top model. And again, I photographed their various images. I always like to create something. When somebody is this beautiful, it's no good just photographing their face and saying, oh, look how beautiful she is, or standing there photographing her body. The main thing is what you as a photographer will put into your work, what you create out of their shape, especially if she's a client that wants to buy pictures from me. She knows she's beautiful. So when you photograph her, it's no good just giving her what she sees every day in the mirror. You need to create something that she would go wow to. This is a friend of my brother's who plays the sax, and said one day, I'll bring my sax. One day, can you take some pictures? We did lots of images of them, and he took it back. He took it to America somewhere, and this guy asked him to, because he had a T-shirt made out of one of these images for himself. And the guy said, can I keep the image and make some T-shirts out of it? I said, hold on, that's my copyright. You've given it away to this guy. Okay, this image won me the Family Portrait Photographer of the Year award with the Master Photographers Association. Because of this image, I am known for taking people's clothes off when they want a passport picture. So what happened was this family came in to have a passport done for the baby. And when I photographed the baby, as they were going to pay, I have a bare shoulder image in the viewing room, in the reception. So she looked at the image and said, it would be nice to have something like that done. I said, well, you can do it now. You don't need any clothes on. They said, we're always naked. I said, go ahead. So I told them what to do and we did a shot. This won me the Family Portrait Photographer of the Year award. And this is another shot, which was a runner-up, which is very unusual to have in a competition. I also sometimes do trades. So this guy is a plumber and I needed a radiator in our downstairs bathroom replacing. So I did a family portrait for him. I won an award for this image, and also he replaced the radiator for me and I gave him the images. This is the same girl as earlier who had the white jacket on. There's another pose which I did with a different jacket. Are you fed up seeing all the naked people now?
Not yet.
This is a friend of ours who, when we first met and she realized I was a photographer, she said, I always wanted a nude picture of me. And what she wanted to do wasn't really nice, didn't look good at all. So I said, look, let me pose you. And the way I've posed her here, I have never managed to do anybody else yet. I've never managed to even copy my own pose on this. She did it so well. So, and she's got 2 images, front and back, in her bedroom, 40-inch, I don't know how many, I think about just over a meter in her bedroom. Mother and daughter came in, and towards the end, the mother said, oh, my daughter wanted to do something that was a little bit more topless or whatever. So I did this shot for her. This was again overexposed by accident. And when I saw it, I thought, I love it as it is. So then I carried on the normal shoot and I kept this one for my competitions. I sometimes give my own clothes for others to wear. So there's a young girl wanted some pictures. I did it for her. And I said, look, I want to do something like this. So I gave her my tuxedo and tie and got her to do this, look as though the wind is blowing it away. So did some images for me. I've also done calendar for a local sports center. So anybody who, I love doing this type of thing where they're naked, but you don't really see anything. So I brought them and they did very well out of the calendar, raising money for the charity. This is my motorbike. I brought it in. This is the Greek girl that you saw earlier. And I just wanted an anonymous image where the face doesn't show. So I put her on there. This is the sax player, the friend of my brother's. This was another session. He'd come in in the summer. And this backdrop is actually outside, hanging from my studio wall. I brought it all the way forward. I've got also a flash lighting in his face. And when I did this shot, I put that chair there. I wanted to show that, you know, he was sitting there just to tell a story. He was sitting there, he's got up and he's posed, and suddenly our dog, who was at the time a puppy and the ear hadn't really gone up yet, came in and started being around. So I put him on there and asked him to sit. He sat and I took this picture. This is won me an award as well. Okay, in a selfie I did for a competition, which I won with. This is it from me, guys. Apart from going much more into details, we've done it in good time.
You certainly have, Hoss. Thank you very, very much.